Have a seat. Now, Dave Chappelle, he's got a new special. Brand new. It was apparently paid for or commissioned by Netflix, but only released on YouTube. It's free. Anybody can watch it. Pop onto YouTube, look up Dave Chappelle, 846. Now I kind of want to preface this. I want to get something else in our minds before we ease into a gentle and easy criticism of Dave Chappelle's 846. I want to get something out there first. Okay, so a little while ago, this was months ago, I was sitting on my plush, beautiful sofa. I'd made myself some popcorn. I had a drink, Black Label. I had the lotion. I fired up the Apple TV so I could watch some comedy. You know, I like comedy. I like to laugh. I like comedy. Now this one, I fired it up. I'm ready to go. I'm getting lubricated. And out walks an Oompa Loompa. Now, I was surprised. I look around a bit. I was watching something called Nanette. Anybody heard of this? It's called Nanette. Now, the Oompa Loompa kind of waddles on stage. And I'm open-minded, okay? You know, I wasn't sure what to expect, but I have seen funny woman before, so like I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear people talk about tweeting on the Snapchats. I don't want to hear people saying, "Oh, women aren't funny," because it was about 12. It was about 12 years ago. I was carrying something, right? And I dropped it. Now, a woman, she, God, she sees this. She sees me drop the thing. Some say to this day that I dropped it on purpose. You know, we'll leave that out. Leave that out for the jury. But this woman, she's walking by. She sees that I dropped this thing. And she says, "What's your favorite candy bar? Butterfingers?" That's a joke. That's hilarious. It's not hilarious. It's not like it's not clever. It's not. I mean, it's something. It's an attempt. It's a run. So 10, 12 years ago, that woman, she made a joke. She's a funny woman. I'm not aware of any others, but so women can be funny. Alright, so back to Nanette. So she or he or neither or all of the above, instead of getting up there and telling jokes like in a comedy special, you know, instead all of the above berates you for an hour. So to get back to the topic at hand, Dave Chappelle's 846 is a lot like that, except it might have more penises. So if everybody remembers, Sticks and Stones came out. Sticks and Stones came out a little while ago. We were at the height. But we were getting it. We were getting it from all sides. People were saying, you can't joke about this, can't joke about that. You say this thing, you're canceled. You say that thing, you're canceled. So Dave Chappelle, in his superhero uniform, gets up on stage and says, go fuck yourself, audience. Bunch of bitches. We all had a good laugh. He was funny. Stretching out his GOAT status. Saying, that's right, I can say whatever I want, about whatever topic. Alphabet people, that's right. Stick it right in your face. But this 846, okay, it's an egocentric jerk off, alright? It's not like not a literal jerk off. It's not Louis C.K. That would have been entertaining. It's a tone deaf. It's a pointless. It's a regurgitation. Watching this half an hour is like watching someone throw up, eat it, and throw up again. They can't all be gems, right? I mean, that's a pretty steep fall from grace. But, so what does he talk about? What does he go on? What does he talk about? What is 846? What does that mean? That's the time. That is the time, the hallowed time, that a snake wearing human skin knelt on another man's neck. It was that duration. Okay? So I got it. And Dave's he's creative with these kind of setups. With these ideas. Making you think a little bit more about this stuff. He's creative with this. And Dave says, 846 is the time on my birth certificate. It's when I was born. So this struck me. They could do this to this man. And then he says, 824, Kobe Bryant died on the day I was supposed to get a Grammy Award. And there was some significance to the number 824 for me, too. Time he ate lime jello or something. Trayvon looked like could be one of his kids. That his name was from a rich guy who got lynched back in the day. This made me sit down and realize something. Number one, this wasn't a comedy special. This was a talk. This was a rap at your soul kind of thing. Number two, it made me realize that even for someone as accomplished as Dave Chappelle, someone so high and towering, someone who has IVs replenish him on a night of partying, according to Joe Rogan, someone that high, their first instinct is to say, how can I make this about me? And when you think about that, you think about all the other people on Twitter, people who have pathetic lives, who don't get IV replenished during partying sessions. Obviously, what is it really about? Is this injustice? Does it have anything to do with reality? Is this about making a better world, or what the best idea is? Or is this about you? Is this about attention? Is this about your emotional moment? Did somebody kneel on your neck? What is this about? Now, because, I generally wouldn't do this. I wouldn't give a shit to do this. It wouldn't be a big deal. A comedy special is a comedy special. You can say whatever the fuck you want. You can make whatever political statement you want. The point of comedy is to exaggerate. But this is a political argument. So I get to call out oblivious bullshit where it is. And your GOAT status doesn't mean you can't be sacrificed. So he goes down a list. The handful of times cops screwed up or hired a guy that was actually a snake in a human skin. You know what he doesn't do? He doesn't mention the 25 unarmed white people who were killed. He mentioned George Floyd, doesn't mention Tony Timpa. 846. What about 1350? That's approximately how long a cop knelt on Tony Timpa while he was dying. You know what else? They made fun of him. They made jokes about him. This was August of 2016. What happened? What's the difference? Why didn't that spawn riots? Is it because white lives don't matter? You know what else Dave didn't mention? He didn't mention the 300 million times. 300 million times that police had an interaction with a member of the public and it went just fine. In 1 year. There's a reality and there's a narrative. There's cause and effect and there's story time. You have a responsibility. You have a responsibility to cut through the story time, the emotional bullshit, the childish fits, the social pressure. What everybody tells you to think. You have a responsibility to cut through that shit for reality. In 2019, in the midst of the racist cop epidemic, where they're just looking for skin colors to put down. In 2019, 15 unarmed black men were killed by the police. 15. That's out of some 40 million black Americans. 40 million. 15. And you hear oblivious, fear-mongering people stepping their little baby nuts outside and talking, I'm afraid for my life because of my skin color, that I'm going to get shot by the police. It can happen anytime. Stop feeding this bullshit. You have a responsibility. And to Dave Chappelle, the great man, what I have to say to you is, shut up and dribble. That's the end.